Hey all, Tony Bing here. Hello and welcome to my Psionic Constructs ranged psychic build for Psylocke for Marvel Heroes Omega for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Now with this build guide video I will run over the skills and talents for the build. We'll have a look at the synergies, the infinity point allocation, this is where we would place the first 100 points. We'll look at the general gear and priority, and then we finish up with a run through of some gameplay and a full bounty clear to show off the build and rotation as well. Now if you want to jump to any particular section, check out the description, there will be timestamps there. Otherwise we'll start off by looking at the skills. Skill wise here then we have something a bit different. Now we're going for a ranged dot build just to mix things up a little bit. Now the main filler we would use is Crossbow Construct. This deals additional damage to enemies that are vulnerable and weakened, and this leads into our actual next skills. We have Psionic Vortex. We would use this first because it pulls all the enemies together and it provides vulnerability on them as well. It's got an 8-second duration with a 6-second cooldown. We then follow that up with Psionic Assault, which will leave a dot on the enemy. It slows them and it weakens them, so that means we're now getting the bonus damage from Crossbow Construct. That'll be 40% in total we'll be getting. Now when all the enemies are grouped up together and stunned and slowed, what we then do is we can spam Tsunami Slash on them, so it's a nice damage packet. It actually leaves a dot as well, so you can hit and run, and it has an increased 10% critical hit chance. This is a really great skill for taking out trash. Now for more single targets, what we'll do is we'll run through the rotation we've talked about here, but we'll follow it up with Psycho Blast, which is an 8-second cooldown skill that actually stuns enemies for 3 seconds if they're vulnerable and weakened, and they will be due to the skills we've used earlier. Now the next skill we have is Psionic Bow, so nice amount of damage, and it will do 50% bonus damage to the first enemy hit. So if you're taking on a boss, add 50% onto the damage you can see on screen, an 8-second cooldown, and it also provides us with a 10% range power damage buff as well. And then finally we have our signature Ethereal Butterflies. I think that's how you say it, or Ethereal Butterflies probably. Now this will do 25 different hits. They have a 50% chance to regenerate 700 health per hit and 25-second cooldown as well. But next up, let's have a look at the talents. So for the talents, Psylocke actually has quite a strange set, and I actually find, to be honest, rather than increasing the builds you can use, it actually shuts down quite a few builds, which is a bit of a pity. But the talent selection we are using, the first one is Butterfly Swarm, so whenever your signature deals damage it has a 50% chance to reduce its cooldown by 0.5 seconds, and your signature of course has 25 different hits on it. If you feel you need a bit more survivability, you can use Protected Mind instead, because that will give you the guarded buff to yourself and allies, which is pretty nice. Now talent line number 2, there's nothing here that's really great for us, so we're using Mobile Assassin just purely for the extra dash charge that can be helpful for range builds. Talent line number 3, we don't actually have anything here that works. Now the bottom talent, Exploit Weakness, would be perfect for us, because when you hit an enemy who's both weakened and vulnerable, you restore 1% of your max health and 5% of your max barrier. Psionic Assault and Psionic Vortex gets additional damage, but you will notice it puts the cooldown of Psionic Vortex up by 4 seconds, which just kills it, because it puts that skill up to 10 seconds when our other skills are actually 6 or 8 seconds, so it just really messes with the rotation. If that doesn't bother you, of course feel free to use it, but personally I don't use it for that reason. It's a real pity. Now next talent, it's Tsunami Aftermath, so it's base damage to range powers, and Tsunami Slash becomes a ranged, it says mental but it should be psychic power, and deals additional damage over time. And then the final talent is Psionic Construct, so this changes Psycrush into Crossbow Construct, and that gains the increased damage from vulnerable and weakened enemies, and Psychic Bow gains some damage and also a range power damage steroid on it for 8 seconds as well. But next up, let's have a look at the synergies. For the synergies, we start off by looking at the primary attributes, which are fighting and intelligence, and those are covered by Beast, Elektra and also War Machine. The more generic synergies are Blade, Hawkeye, Hulk, She-Hulk and Squirrel Girl, And finally, the ones that work great on Psylocke due to being psychic and ranged would be Jean Grey and also Psylocke as well. Now next up, let's have a look at the Infinity Point allocation. For the first 100 Infinity Points, I would place them into the Time Gem and Temporal Loophole. The attack speed works great with our main filler, and movement speed is great on any hero, but it's especially good on a ranged hero because it allows them to move out the way of any enemies that close down on them. Because we are ranged as well, we don't really need health, which we would normally take from other nodes, and we also don't have any kind of spirit or resource issues at all, so there's no need to dip into the Mind Gem like I would normally do. But next up, we'll have a look at the general gearing priority. For this gearing section then, what I'll do as always, just give a brief outline of how you want to actually gear for this particular build, and that means in future as new gear comes out you can use the tips here to help you decide if you want to move around your gear. Now the one item that really is pretty mandatory and works perfect for the build is the Golden Bow of Apollo Legendary, because all our skills have the ranged power tag, and this gives you damage rating to range powers as well as 1500 critical hit rating to range powers. The attack speed works nice on our filler, and the rank 3 and rank 5 procs are pretty great as well. Now when it comes to the medallion, we've got two choices. The first and simplest one, if you're a ranged build, you can go for Mandarin for the damage, or for something a bit more fun you can go for the Modok medallion. So 3% chance when you hit with a psychic power, which will be often due to all the dots we're laying down, you have a chance to confuse surrounding enemies for 8 seconds. That's quite nice and it's a bit of fun, something a bit different. For the relic, it would of course be the Relic of Xandar due to all our skills having the ranged power tag. And then when we come to the artifact that we don't normally cover, I'll show this one off. Drops from Grim Reaper, it's the Hood of the Reaper. Gain health when you defeat an enemy, brutal strike rating, health, fighting, and also damage rating to psychic powers, so it really is perfect for her. Now because we do gain the critical hit rating on our legendary, when it comes to your slots 1 to 5, your ring and your medallion affixes, you can go a bit heavier on your base attributes. Go for fighting or intelligence, both are great, or go for brutal strike rating there. But what we'll do with the gearing covered is we have some gameplay now, run through of the Church of Purification operation, full bounty clear to show off our trash clearing capabilities, and we take down Juggernaut at the end. And as always, I will mention that this is just to show off the rotation and how the build works. I don't have best in slot gear or anything like that, as you can see, due to the time restraints of doing so many videos. So I hope you do enjoy this gameplay anyway. If there's any questions, feel free to ask, and I'll see you all again soon.
Nobody can beat me! You should have run away! I'm unstoppable.